Hello. I wanted to take a few moments to explain why I, as your president and your representative on the board of directors for MTA, have voted to support both the Adequacy bill and the campaign for revenues at the state level, and ask you to consider the information that I'm providing you today through this email to support and endorse these two pieces of legislation. First of all, I've been privy to a lot of information over the last year and a half as a member of the MTA Board of Directors, much of it coming from Mass Budget. And I encourage you to look at the information at the Mass Budget website, which I've provided you links to. What's clear is that educational funding in Massachusetts is not working. And we need to know why, which is what the Adequacy study is all about. And we need to find additional revenues so that our communities can survive, not just education. Police, fire, libraries, recreation, all of those services are in desperate need of additional revenues. First, the Adequacy study. The Adequacy study is a bill that seeks to have a committee established that would look at how we fund education here in the Commonwealth and whether or not funding is adequate, in particular the foundation budget. The formula that was created in 1993 as part of the Ed Reform Bill was done before things like Mass Curriculum Frameworks, Common Core, and the MCAS testing system. All of these have resulted in unfunded mandates and all have significant impacts on our funding. What this Adequacy study will do is to take a look at a 20-year-old formula that is not working to see how it can be changed. In a study done by Mass Budget, it has been determined that our own community in Sutton is paying about $499 per child less in foundation budget than it should be to meet the demands of the Ed Reform Act and all of the things that have come since. When you cost that out for about 1,700 kids, that's about $850,000 short of where we need to be. Excuse me. In talking to the superintendent, he agrees that that is probably about the amount we need to progress here at Sutton. So it's an important study that needs to take place. And the second one is the revenue campaign. And let's face it, whenever we talk about taxes, that's never an easy thing. The fact of the matter is, and I encourage you to look at the video that's provided in this email, is that Massachusetts is not Taxachusetts. In fact, since 1977, taxation as a percentage of income in Massachusetts has decreased by about 40%. And we are one of the lowest in terms of taxation in the country. Certainly less than the national average by a few percentage points, and we're in that lower third. So we are not the Taxachusetts that we once thought we were. Remember, since 1977, we've had Proposition 2.5. We've had other taxes that have gone down during that period of time, and incomes within the Commonwealth have indeed gone up over that time. It is time for us to look at additional revenues and a better way of taxing. Those of our colleagues who are making low-end salaries cannot afford more taxes. We understand that. This bill would provide for a progressive taxation system in which those who are making more would pay more, and those who are making less would pay little or nothing more than they're paying now. In my own case, my wife and I, both being teachers here, would pay about $519 more in taxes under the plan proposed by the Coalition for Our Communities, of which MTA is one member. So I'm willing to pay that. I think it's what is necessary for our communities, and I think it's a fair tax. Right? What I'm asking you to do is to look at both these bills and determine whether or not your association should endorse these bills. I have voted on the MTA board. It's now your turn to determine whether your local association. If you don't feel comfortable making that decision, then you have the ability to authorize the board of directors to make that decision for you. What's clear here is that funding of education isn't working. It isn't working for Sutton. It isn't working for the Commonwealth. So we need to try to find better ways to do it. I thank you, and I encourage you to please look at the materials here. Make up your own mind. If you don't feel that you can understand it or that you can grasp it in the short time that we have, then please allow the board to make that decision. Either way, we need to be involved in the decisions that are being made on the state and local level. Thank you again.